Hello, everyone. Sunday afternoon and welcome. Hello, everyone. Sunday afternoon and a warm welcome. Hello, everyone. Speaker is switched on. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Sunday afternoon here. Hello, everyone. Welcome and a warm Sunday afternoon. Hello, good evening. How are you? Good evening. For the last and the class of mine today, I'm Mrs. Meenala Satyamurthy, your facilitator, to take you through this last journey of the 4-day session. Welcome, courtesy Ekcel Academy. Thank you so much for all these 3 days of patient listening, and bear with me for the last but not the least. And let's start. Now, what have we got to start here? As it is, if just a quick recapitulation would tell you that I did deal with articles, I dealt with prepositions, the adjectives, the adverbs, business phrasal verbs, business vocabulary, spellings, IE, EI, and accept, except, IBLE, ABLE, and effect and affect. All these things that were dealt with. Now, today, being the last session, I would like to wrap up by commencing again on business words and just to bring you into the stream of your exams again, the subject verb agreement, and finally, the most important, the common errors in English. Now, this is what I plan to do and hope to do by today evening. So let's commence. It has been a real warm Sunday afternoon, I think. All of them are cozily packed up after a good afternoon lunch. I continue my classes, and so we shall move on. Yes, we have the business phrasal verbs. We've been moving on this right from day one. And so here we are on the day 4. And so, yes, of course, I have taught you almost, I think, nearly 25 of them. Some of them may be repeated, but then, yes, as I told you, a phrasal verb is a verb made of a preposition and or an adverb, or sometimes both. Now, you have drum up, to try to increase interest in something, a support for something. He's trying to drum up his interest in his new company's new product. Bail out, to help a person or business in difficulty, especially financially. The company had several debts, so the bank bailed out the company. Fall through, to be unsuccessful, to fail to happen. The sale of the company fell through. Close down, to close something permanent doing business. Cash in on, to benefit or make money from an event or a situation, often in an unfair way. The company is cashing in on the computation's era. So this is a few of the phrasal verbs. Just to brief you, nothing else. The worksheet will follow and you can answer. 3 days worksheet you must have already had by now. Now, some more words of business English. These are words which I say you people commonly use and rightly use regularly. Deficit, lucrative, commodity, inflation, merger, annual, wage, earning, biannual, billboard, scarcity. The word annual has been repeated, so let's remove that. Deficit, yes, the total amount by which money spent is more than the money received. You must have heard it's a deficit budget this year. This is a very common term in economics and used regularly. So when you write, you know what is deficit. Lucrative, you produce a lot of money, profitable business. So nowadays, mask making is a lucrative business. Commodity, a substance or a primary product that can be traded or bought and sold usually in large quantities. Inflation, an increase in the price of goods and services over time, causing a reduction in the value of money. We are all witness to this. The increase in the prices of petrol, diesel, gas, some of the vegetables, due to inflation, what havoc has been caused from probably from last 1 month. How the petrol prices, how the diesel's prices just flared up. And now how suddenly they have been brought down too. So the prices increase to such an extent that you can feel the inflation. Dasara Diwali time, yes, the vegetable prices do soared up, telling you about the inflation. So it's an increase in the price of goods over time, and it causes a reduction in the value of money. You give more money, but you get less of the product. You know how much you have to pay for 1 liter of petrol and what you would get and to what distance you would travel to. So whatever value you get is not equivalent to the amount of money that you have spent across. Merger, the joining of 2 or more companies to make 1 larger company. A very good example, how Manipal Hospital has taken over. It has taken over 2 more hospitals, and so it has come into 1. Annual, happening once a year. Wage is the money that someone is paid every week by the employer. Now, this is a common concept for the daily wage workers, which you read, and also in the other developed countries. In our country, usually it is monthly. And of course, the daily wage workers are what is called for daily, and some of them do get weekly. Earning is the total amount of money that you earn from the job you do. Biannual, it happens twice. Bi means twice. Like you say, bisect an angle, like that. Billboard, a signboard for advertising posters. Scarcity, a very small supply of resource. Lack of something. So when you know what happens when there's scarcity and how the demand for it rises, all economic terms. Please remember these words since you are really ready for your next battle. Yes, got some quiz for you to answer. Do not worry, I shall, yes. We'll do the last 2 later. We'll do the second one onwards. I hope you can see that I'm sharing this application with you, and it's all about business quiz, and you can see the questions. An annual earnings report can tell about a company's profit during the past month, during the past year, during the past week, during the past day. Any answer somebody would like to answer? A, yes, correct, because it is annual. In which of the following places can a person find cargo? On the internet, in an employee's home, in an office, on a ship? D, correct. Good. Which of the following words is most similar to consumer? Manager, buyer, employer, seller. C, yes, correct. What does a business do when it earns money? It breaks even, it loses money, it makes money. None of the above. C, yes, correct. Which of the following things does a business do when it expands? It opens more offices or stores, it imports product, it closes a factory, it publishes an annual report. A, correct. Merchandise is something that people can buy, sell, export, all of the above. Yes, all of the above, correct. If a business makes profit, we can say it is in the black, it is in the red, it is bankrupt, it hires many people. Yes, it hires many people, yes, in the way, no doubt about it. But if it makes a profit, what can we say? It's in the black, it's in the red, it's bankrupt, it hires many people. Which of the following words is most similar to a business proposal, question, suggestion, discussion, interruption? Yes, B, correct. Which of the following people do companies hire? Buyers, sellers, employees, employers. D, yes, correct. Which of the following words is most similar to value? Need, make, money, product. Need, make, money, product. Value. Most similar to value. It has got some value. Need, make, money, product. So money also has value. It will be C. Now the first one, when people want to advertise products, they want to buy them, sell them, export them, use them. Yes, correct. Eighth one, which of the following is most similar to a company logo? A game, a song, a story, a picture. A picture. Which of the following is most similar to a company logo? Okay. The next one here, I don't think a company's headquarters might be found on a business suit, in a warehouse, in an office building, inside a secretary's desk. Yes. C, correct. The last one, which of the following you will probably find in a warehouse? Merchandise, products, goods, all of the above. All of the above, correct. The copyright is for all things and can be used for classroom use. Thanks to these people who have taken the trouble of giving us such quality worksheets, and that could be help for all of you. Thank you so much for answering and taking patience and doing it. Next. There are words here: lucrative, earnings, annual, wage, billboard, deficit, commodity, scarcity, semi-annual, inflation, merger, quarterly. Happening twice a year. What could you say? Here only semi-annual is there. I think you can see the answers now. Happening twice a year. Annual, deficit, semi-annual, quarterly. It should have actually been biannual, would have been perfectly correct for it. But yes, semi-annual. Happening, yes. Happening once a year will be what? Annual, correct. Happening 4 times a year will be what? Quarterly, correct. Signboard for advertising posters. I'll show you the answers. Earnings, billboard, scarcity, merger. So what is the signboard for advertising posters? Billboard, exactly. A very small supply of resource, a lack of something. Earnings, billboard, scarcity, merger. It is nothing but scarcity. A general continuous increase in prices, causing a reduction in the value of money. Lucrative, wage, commodity, inflation, earnings, merger. Which one is correct? And deficit. A general continuous increase in prices. Inflation, yes. Is the money that someone is paid every week by their employer. It's almost like I told you the meaning and you have the worksheet over here. The money that someone is paid every week by their employer. It is wage. The total amount by which money spent is more than the money received. The very first word that I went on to when I discussed about the business words, it's deficit. The joining of 2 or more companies to make one larger company. I even gave the example of Manipal hospitals, which have taken up 2 more hospitals, which was in the papers just last week. And that is merger, yes. Is the amount of money you earn from the job. So you do what? It is earnings. A substance, a product that can be traded, bought, or sold in large quantities. And the answer, commodities. The total amount by which money spent is more than the money received is the same thing as deficit. Yes. Now with this, let's move on to this exercise. This exercise is something that is extremely important. Now, why we consider it so important is because this is the exercise that tells us how the sentence structure is grammatically correct or incorrect. Now, what is the rule that we apply over here? Now, that being the case, everything has an answer for it. Grammar is like mathematics. It does have a why. Exceptions are bound to be there. Now choose the correct form of the verb that agrees with the subject. This is a very common topic and known by the term subject-verb agreement. Yes, the first one, Annie and her brothers are at school. Yes, Annie is one person. Her brothers is different, combined by and. So you use plural verb are. Suppose it says bread and butter. Now, bread and butter go together. So therefore, it's always is. Bread and butter is a wholesome food. If it is bread and butter, is a wholesome food. It will always be is because bread and butter go together. Now, you have one more thing in this combination of and, which I should tell you, because you can be writing out in your answers. Now, the accountant and the officer are present. I said the accountant and the officer are present. Look at this sentence. The accountant and officer is present. Now, what is the difference here from this to this? Here I said the accountant, the officer are present. When two subjects joined by and denoted by the article THE two times, then it means to say it refers to two people. Accountant is one, the officer is another one. But in the second case, if you have seen, the accountant and officer, he is also the accountant, he's also the officer of the company. I only use a singular verb is, like the principal and teacher. The person is the principal, the person is the teacher also. If I say the principal and the teacher, so when two subjects joined by and the definite article repeated twice, that means to say we are referring to two different subjects. The verb must be in plural. So in the very first case, I use are. In the second case, there's the only one time. So it refers to the same person, and therefore I use a singular verb, which is. So when you are writing a letter or an answer, keep this in mind. And bread and butter always go together, is a wholesome food. So Annie and her brothers, Annie is one person, her brothers is another group of two brothers or three brothers. Brothers, it says, joined by and, you have plural verb. I hope you have understood. Next one. Either my father or my mother dash to the meeting. It is because mother is one, father is one. So it is joined by either and or. So naturally it is. Next, the dog or the cats is outside, are outside. Any answer? Any answer? The dog or the cats is outside. The dog or the cats are outside. It agrees to the verb near it. So, yes, are outside. Next one. Either my shoes or your coat is always on the floor, are always on the floor. Is always on the floor. Yes. George and Tamara doesn't want to see that movie, don't want to see that movie. George and Tamara doesn't want to see that movie, don't want to see that movie. Don't want to see because it is plural. George is one, Tamara is under one, combined with and, so don't. If it is singular, we use doesn't. Benito doesn't know the answer. Benito don't know the answer. Doesn't know the answer, yes. One of my sisters is going on a trip to France. One of my sisters are going on a trip to France. Yes. Here, you should always remember this is another golden rule. Whenever you have one of my, the noun that follows it will always be in plural. One of my books, one of my sisters, one of my brothers, one of my parents. Every time it will have that yes. Just because it has this yes here, don't think the verb will be plural. Among all my sisters, one, only one is going on a trip to France. So, sisters, it will be there. Our brothers will be there. Our cousins, it will be there. But remember, one among them. So, therefore, the verb will always be singular. It will be is only or was, whichever one it is. But be careful. As soon as we see that sisters, brothers, no, we think it's going to be plural. Never. One of my sisters, one of my brothers. Yes. Next one. The man with all the birds live on my street, lives on my street. Lives on my street. And this is another confusion that we have. Oh, we are adding yes, it must be plural. Never. The man with all the birds, that is another explanation that you should know. So whenever we have the man, come on, with. So when you have this with and whatever comes later, the noun always agrees to this first one. Therefore, lives is correct. And lives, when the subject is singular, we add s to the verb. When the subject is plural, we remove the s from the verb. For example, you say he walks because he is singular, or you say they walk because they is plural. So this is another thing that you should know, and that is why that's the answer. The movie, including all the previews, take about 2 hours to watch, takes about 2 hours to watch. The movie, including all the previews, take about 2 hours to watch, takes about 2 hours to watch. It is movie, so it takes about 2 hours to watch. So we are referring, yes, takes about 2 hours to watch. The players as well as the captain want to win. The players as well as the captain wants to win. Want to win. The players want to win. Here it is plural. Either answer are acceptable, is acceptable. Is acceptable because you have a choice. When I use that word EITHER, either A or B. So you have a choice, and therefore one between the two, one among them. So it is. Every one of those books is fiction. Every one of those books are fiction. Is fiction, yes. Nobody knows the trouble I have seen. Nobody knows the trouble I have seen. Nobody knows the trouble I have seen. Is the news on at 5 or 6? Are the news on at 5 or 6? Very clearly, the word news, the word physics, mathematics, all end with now civics, all end with S but will only take up a singular verb. The news is too good to be true. No news is good news. And here is the news on at 5 or 6. So mathematics is an interesting subject. Physics is an interesting subject. Civics is an interesting subject. No matter what, they all end in S, but still in statistics. So whatever it is, though it ends in S, the verb will remain singular only. I gave you the answer of the next exercise. Sentence. Mathematics, John's favorite subject, while civics, Andrea's favorite subject. It is mathematics is John's favorite subject, while civics is Andrea's favorite subject. $8 is the price of a movie these days. $8 are the price of a movie these days. It is always is. $8, 9 kilometers, whatever it is, it's a combined whole. So we refer it to with a singular verb only. Next one. Is the tweezers in this drawer? Are the tweezers in this drawer? I have to explain to you this. I shall explain. Now, what happens? There is something called collective noun in English. When we use a collective noun, now, for example, I say pair of scissors. Pair of scissors. Now, when the collective noun pair is there, that time the verb is singular. But without the collective noun, it becomes plural. Even if I say herd of cattle, the verb is singular. But if I remove the word herd, which is the collective noun, then it becomes plural. So remember very clearly, the pair of tweezers the tweezers in the drawer. Suppose it was just scissors. Are the scissors in this drawer? Is the pair of scissors in this drawer? With that collective noun pair, you will definitely have a singular verb. The herd of cattle is grazing in the green field. The cattle are grazing. So it becomes difficult. That's the difference. Remember, with the collective noun, the verb is singular. Without the collective noun, the verb is plural. COLLECTIVE. Your pants is at the cleaners. Your pants are at the cleaners. Which will be the verb here? Yes, again. Your pair of pants, we say. Your pair of pants, we always say. So pair is not there. Therefore, it is plural here. Pair, collective noun is not there. Your pants are at the cleaners. Your pair of pants is at the cleaners. So please remember very clearly. Collective noun, verb is singular. No collective noun, verb is plural. Please remember this, and when you're writing your answers, please be very cautious, very careful. It makes a lot of difference in the answer. Now, There were 15 candies in that bag. Now there are only one left. What would be the answer? Yeah, there were 15 candies in that bag. I'm able to count candies. Candies are those type of kind of chocolates. So I can count. Now there is only one left. Countable noun. Now comes the next one. The committee debate these questions carefully. So whether it is debates or debate these questions carefully. The next one you see, the committee members leads very different life in public, different lives in private, sorry. The committee members lead very different lives in private. Now, what could be the answer for the 20th one? What could be the answer for the 21st one? What happens? We have to read the question very carefully. If you look at the 20th question, it says committee. Then it says these questions carefully. All the questions carefully. So the entire committee put together debates on this question. So it is singular verb. Now you see the next one. The committee members. We are talking about each committee member's life. We are not referring to them as a whole. The committee members. So we are referring to each one of them. Yes, very good. So we are referring to each one of them. That time the verb will be plural. This you have to be very cautious while you are writing. The other one that you can get this confusion is in the word jury, in the word team, all this. Please be cautious while answering. So this can come up because team is such a common word for you which can come. Committee can be there in your answer script. And when you're writing, please take note of it. If you are referring to each committee member there, you know very well that we are talking about each one and therefore the verb becomes different. But if you are referring to the committee as a whole, then the verb is singular. It is considered as one unified whole. So the committee debates these questions carefully. The committee members, each one of them, so lead very different life in private. So we are talking of all the members. It's like this. This happens in the words like jury, in the words like committee, in the words like, I was just telling you, team. So please be very cautious in the usage of this. Next one. The Prime Minister, together with his wife, greets the press cordially. Greet the press cordially. Greets, yes. Why? Whenever we have the subject like this, joined with this, no matter whatever it is here, the verb will agree to the first one only. Prime Minister is singular. It's only one person. Therefore, the subject becomes singular. The Prime Minister, together with his wife, greets the press cordially. All of the CDs, even the scratched one, is in this. All of the CDs, even the scratched one, are in this. All of the CDs are in this. All of the CDs is in this, which is correct. No answer? You're quiet? No answer? Yes, all of the CDs, even the scratched one, is in this. Yes. So this is what I was trying to tell you about subject-verb agreement. So please be very cautious, very careful when you are answering this. Whenever the subject is singular, we say the verb should be singular. Subject is plural, we say verb should be plural. But remember, certain words like when the collective noun is there, how it goes on, how they agree to that one. So the first noun in opposition. So please be cautious and careful while answering that. Yes. I hope you can see this text. Yeah. Error correction, it says, do you see any errors? I went to the India in 1967. These are commonly committed errors. When these are commonly committed errors, these errors do occur very frequently in our answer script, in our day-to-day life, and so we have to be a little careful. I went to the India in 1967. While teaching articles, I had stressed upon the fact that whenever there is a proper noun, we do not use the article the, the. So here what happens, it will be, I went to India . So it is, I went to India in 1967. I being always capital because proper noun. The second answer, I have been in the United States since a year. So remember, I have been in the United States. It will not be since a year, it will be for a year. Why? Period of time is mentioned. No, not because of United States. It happens because of the fact, yes, I agree that the has been mentioned with United States. You remember when I had taught you about United States, UK and USSR, when I had said that the should not come before a proper noun, but there is an exception, and that exception lies in these three. Though it is United States, it group of states combined together formed one whole United States. We always add the before it. We say the UK only. But in this sentence, What is the mistake is, I have been in the United States since a year. Now, since is always used for a starting point of time. We don't use it for a year, total period. Therefore, we use there for and not since. The United States is correct here. The next one, I used to having a horse. I used to having a horse. Can you think of any answer for this? I used to having a horse. What is the correct answer? No. Here what happens, it could be any horse, a black horse or a brownish one or patch brown and black, and then a white, nothing is mentioned about that. So it's just a horse. Whenever you own something, it belongs to you. So it becomes a possession. I used to have a horse. Oh, wait, sorry. Is I used to have a horse. We never say having when we say it belongs to us. I have a car. I have a bicycle. I have a pen. The next one. I am used to get up early. Any answer? I did teach this yesterday, a day before, I think, when I said the preposition is followed with a verb. It doesn't. I used to get also correct. I'm used to getting up. I used to get up early. That's also correct. I'm used to getting up early. Yes. Next one. I love a lot the animals that live in Australia. This is also correct. I love a lot the animals that live in Australia. Now remember, when you have a sentence like this, I love a lot the animals that live in Australia. You know something is wrong somewhere. You may not be able to find out. So what you can do, now here this is the verb. Which one? Love. Love what? You love the animals. Where do they live? That live in Australia. So this a lot should go to the end. It's placed wrongly there. So what happens? Sorry, let me rub here. So I love what? I love, mentally think what? The animals. Where do they live? That live in Australia. A lot. I love the in Australia. Comes into the end. It's placed wrongly, and so you are not able to make out. So what you should do at that point of time, after the verb, think mentally. Why am I using the word mentally? You have to think in your mind, what? What? I love what? I love ice cream. I love guavas. I love the animals. So that a lot has been placed wrongly. Put it into the end. The next one, she must has been on holiday. She must has been on holiday. Any answer? So remember, she must and must, whenever I must, we must, They must, he must is a modal. So you always use have after it. So it will be, she must have been on holiday. You will never use has in spite of the fact she is singular. Must is always followed by have. She must have been on holiday. He must have been on holiday. I must have been on holiday. They must have been on holiday. So it is always have. She must have been on holiday. These are the errors that we commit unknowingly. And these unknowing errors just get into the answer script and change the plural or the singular form of the noun and give a different meaning. And then you wonder, why? I did this correctly. Why is it marked wrong? Where have I gone wrong? You never realize till these things are pointed out. And then you know, oh yes, these are the things that on which I should pay a little extra care, a little extra precaution. Now, if I tell you, open this book and read, it's very difficult at this point, and nothing gets into the system because you're just reading it. So, but if you have somebody telling you that this is wrong and this is right, and that's what we have been doing here. The next one, I wish I am not fat. I wish I am not fat. Any answer? This is simple. So it will be, I wish I was not fat. That's the answer. Next. When I was in Russia last year, I wish I went to Moscow. When I was in Russia last year, I wish I went to Moscow. So when I was in Russia last year, there's an action that has happened in the past. So remember, there are two actions happening in the past. One is staying in Russia. The other is visiting of Moscow. So when I was in Russia last year, I wish I had gone to Moscow. So it is not went. Went should change. Instead of went, we use had gone. Because there are two actions in the past. When there are two actions in the past, the very first action should have had with it. So had gone. And the second action will be in simple past, which is was. The next one. The sun is very strong. I wish I didn't leave my sun cream in the hotel. The sun is very strong. I wish I hadn't left my sun cream in the hotel. Oh yeah, sorry, unless I close this, this cannot be scrolled down. Okay, I am not used to do the housework. I am not used to doing the housework. I am not used to do the housework. I'm not used to doing the housework. I hate doing mistakes. I hate making mistakes, not doing. You're doing only, no, you're writing it only. So you cannot use two things there like that. I hate making mistakes. That's the thing. Now, ma'am, please share all PDFs. Now, this one. Yeah, where was I? Yeah. I live here since 1997. The word since has come. Immediately, you should know that this verb live has been wrongly used. You can't use live there. So what will you use? I have lived here since 1997. I have lived here since 1997. So remember the fact that whenever the since and for comes, you have to have lived, has lived, or had lived. Any one among them will be there. Either you can say have lived, have lived. You can also say has lived. You can also say had lived. Anything. But that HAS or HAVE or HAD should be there. I don't want to touch upon the tenses because that will become too much for you. So I have lived. Now 1997 is the starting point. Remember, the starting point is also starts with the letter S. Since also starts with S. So you correlate like that, you can remember better. Yes. Again, he knows her for 10 years. 10 years is one total period of time. So the 10 indicates to you period of time 10 is mentioned. As soon as that is mentioned, go back to the verb. Check the verb. Check what is wrong. Which is the verb here? Knows. So you know very well that knows is wrong. See the subject. Subject is singular, he. So he has known her for 10 years. That's the thing. Next, I have been cutting my finger today. You cannot use a continuous tense for something cutting. Will you continuously cut your finger or continuously cut your toes? No, nobody can do that. Then by the time you won't be, none of us will survive that going on cutting. It's not cutting a paper or something. At some point, it's absolutely impossible. So I have cut my finger today. As simple as that. Today, I was injured. What happened? I cut my finger. That's all. So you cannot go on cutting. That continuous tense should not be used there. So that will be the error. Similarly, in possession also, having car, having a bicycle, there also remember very clearly. These are just clue words. Utilize them carefully. Now, my house is built in 1567. Oh God, long time ago. So my house was built in 1567. Spinach is said to be very good for your health. Spinach is said to be, I told the answer. See, there it is being. So it's not being at all. It's spinach is said to be very good for your health. I went to work with the bus. With the bus, you don't go. You go to the office by what? That agent should come. By a car, by a cycle, by carpooling system, by a public transport. So it's always by bus. I went to work by bus. At this time tomorrow, I'll be fly to New Tokyo. Not now. At the same time, tomorrow. So it's in future. It's not immediate. I'll be flying. I'll be flying. FLYING. I am not agree. This exercise is very easy. Simple, I do not agree. So remember, even when this am come, I am a good boy, I am a good girl is fine. When you have something apart from that, it has to have a helping verb. I'm writing now. I'm teaching now. So it's like that ing will come because it's a helping verb there. I am not agree is a sentence where the structure is wrong. So I do not agree. Simple present tense. I am knowing all the grammar, but it's difficult to remember here exactly. When you have knowledge, it's with you. You cannot take away that knowledge and say, fine, oh, it is knowing, it is coming, it's going, it's there, was coming. No, you know it. It's there, that's all. You cannot put a continuous tense there at all with that. So I know all the grammar, but it's difficult to remember. So you have to remove am knowing and replace it with KNOW. It's time I have a holiday. I'm so tired. It's time I had a holiday. So I'm so tired. Yes, before taking a holiday off from you people, before breaking off, it's only 5. I would just like to touch upon certain spellings and give you a ready reckoner with it. Now, these are the commonly committed errors. It is absolutely wonderful to know that how we make mistakes. But at the same time, we must be happy that we have got somebody to help us to correct these mistakes for us. So it is so essential that we know what to do. And this is commonly committed errors. It's a huge chapter on its own, but I selected and brought out the ones which are going to be utilized by you. And I'm sure and I hope, if not, as I always keep telling, if not 100%, definitely at least 1% of it must be useful. Knowledge or learning never goes waste. That is sure. Yes. Now, adding a suffix to words that ends with Y, it changes into I. Now, these are called ready reckoners. I had made this, so I thought I must share it with you because lot of spelling mistakes occur when we do our tests. We are so busy. So you just remember what I tell you. Now you have a word like cry, dry, lay, apply, reply. All these are, of course, you may not use crying. Don't want. Let's not use that word. It's quite negative. Buy, apply, reply, lay off, everything we use. Excuse me. Now, when you have these words ending with I, you change it into the past tense, remove the Y and put I. So, cried, dried, laid, applied, replied. I always told you, exception, buy and bought. When Y or EY is at the end of a two-syllable word, it usually stands for a long E sound, but written as Y only. You might ask me, what is a syllable? Syllable is nothing but a part in a word. It's a part which has a meaningful sound. But, ba, at. So there are two syllables. So by, it's only one syllable. So you have a syllable, it's just a part of a word. Let me not teach you those intricate things. Just know the word syllable. Now, when Y or EY is used at the end of a two syllable, it usually stands for a long E sound, but written as Y only. Now, for example, baby, donkey. Then donkey should have been with DONKEE. Correct? Why, ma'am? Why are you writing with Y? So, donkey, baby, fancy, penny, candy, monkey, valley. So remember, baby. It looks like with E. Baby. So there are how many syllables? 2 syllables. Baby. So it should end with E, but no, it ends with a Y only. The sound pronounced is that long E sound. Baby, donkey, monkey, valley, fancy, penny, candy. So it's a two-syllable word and it ends with Y, but the sound pronounced is that of E. So do not worry, and it never you think it is Y, but it gives you E, and so you might write even E. You're not wrong because you are writing as you're pronouncing, but that's not the rule that takes place. This is the rule. This is a ready reckoner. This will help you later. Now, when words end in a vowel and Y, the suffix, I hope you know suffix and prefix. Suffix is ending, attaching later. Prefix, before you're fixing. The suffix ed or ing is made without changing the spelling. Now, buy, buying, delay, delaying, employ, employed. So this is by. When you want to add a suffix to it, you just add ing. Delay, delaying. So what it says was, when words end with a vowel and Y, remember that very clearly. When words end in a vowel and Y, and the ed or ing is made without changing the spelling. So I told you three things now. In that first one here is when words end in a vowel and Y, the ed or ing is made without changing the spelling. By, buying, delay, delaying. Now, when I said it is two syllable, it sounds like E, but it is put as Y. Bay, B, pen, knee, can, D, fan, C, dong, key, monkey. So it sounds like E, but the spelling will be Y only. That is one thing I taught you. Now, the very first thing that I taught you was when you were adding a suffix which changes to Y, you change it into IED. But here also ends in a vowel and Y. So you have buy, buying, delay, delaying, employ, employing. When two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking, making the long sound. Meet, longy sound. Bead, seed, team, weed. So no doubt you are writing MEAT, or you may write BEAD. You may write TEAM. But remember, there are two vowels. The first one is doing the talking. So it's the long sound. The second sound is power put down. So sad. So even when two partners are there, one will jog faster, one will jog slow. It's very difficult. So when two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking, making the long sound. So what are the two vowels in the word here? Meet, longy sound. Bead, longy sound. Seed, longy sound. Team, long E sound. Weed, long E sound. How important it is to know this, to do your spellings. It may sound weird. You may not use bead at all in your answer sheet. Doesn't matter. But then you will know the correct spelling. What if there is a question on beads and you're supposed to write a letter? You will remember this. When two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. How beautifully it rhymes. And that's the answer. See, Dean can see the bee land on the green leaf. So that is how we pronounce. This is certain times to give you the whole meaning into this, such words do come. J before an E, I, Y or G sound. G may say J before an E, I, Y or G sound. Gem and glad. Now what happens? G sounds like J. Gem, giant, gym, gymnast, gypsy, garden, gum, gape, gland. Okay? Before an E, correct? Before an I, correct? Before a Y, correct? So sometimes, so gym, giant, gypsy, gymnast, then gum. So Here, there is a difference. Garden, gum, gape, gland. Now, J is spelled as DGE after a short vowel sound. Edge, nudge, fudge. Okay, so EDGE. So it is DGE and just given the pronunciation of J. And we may even write EJ. No, it is EDGE, JUDGE, NUDGE, FUDGE. So J is spelled as DGE after a short vowel sound. A, edge, J, judge, N, nudge, F, judge, fudge. So that is a short vowel sound. C is always softened to S when followed by E, I, and Y. Service. So followed by C is always softened to S. Service. There were so many who would ask me, why can't I write SCRVISC, ma'am? Why should I write SCRVICE? I still cannot forget that student who used to ask me, ma'am, why not? So remember, because when C is softened to S sound, when it is followed by I or E or Y, noise, city, cyclone, cinnamon, cylinder, centipede, celebrate, civil, celery. The sound is softened to S. That's the beauty. The sound is softened to S, but never write S. Service, SCRVICE. It's followed by I, followed by Y. So remember, cylinder. So we can say SYLINDER. No, the sound is softened to this thing. So this you do not worry. This was, yeah. Now, yeah. Now this is another thing that could help you out too. When you use US, yes. Whenever it is nouns, you use US. When you want to make it an adjective, you use OUS. Genius, generous, virus, focus, locust, religious, humorous, malicious, OUS. So this is how, again, nouns. So it is just US, but if it's adjective, it becomes OUS. Generous, religious, malicious, humorous. FLSZ sound is heard after a short vowel sound. It is spelled with double F, double L, double S, double Z. Puff, fluff, cliff, sniff. Hill, doll, sell, drill. Miss, boss, less, guess. Okay. And then buzz, jazz, fuzz. Then you have words ending with ing form. So many are there, but don't worry. Yeah, not much. Now we can relax. Yeah. When there is a word ending with ing form, sometimes we change the spelling. Sometimes you drop the E. Sometimes you change into Y. Sometimes you double the consonant. Sometimes if the second syllable is stressed, you double it. All are there as tables. You cannot make an error because it's there in front of you. Let me explain. When there is no change, buying, eating, starting, talking. But when there is E, you drop the E and add ing. Hope, hopping. Write, writing. Write, writing. Believe, believing. IE changes into Y. Die, dying. DIE, DYING. TIE, TYING. LIE, LYING. One vowel, one consonant, double the consonant. O is a vowel, G is a consonant, double the consonant. JOGGING. One vowel, E. One consonant, T. Double the consonant. S-E-T-T-I-N-G. One vowel U, one consonant N, double it, R-U-N-N-I-N-G. One vowel I, one consonant M. It's actually nasal sound, yes, but then let's not go deeper into those phonetic parts. Swimming, S-W-I-M-M-I-N-G. Now here, two syllable stress, double the consonant. Admit, admitting. Now, prefer, preferring. Begin, beginning. That is the way it is. Now, rabbit rule is you double the middle consonant in a two-syllable word. For example, muffin, cotton, ribbon, tennis, happen, puppet, button. M-U-F-F-I-N, C-O-T-T-O-N, R-I-B-B-O-n, T-E-N-N-I-S, H-A-P-P-E-N, P-U-P-P-E-E-T, B-U-T-T-O-N. So many things she told. Don't worry. I can share this with you. You can just use it like your tables, your logarithm tables when you use it, or you just use, that's why I call it a ready reckoner. Now you have O-W and OU sound. When you hear at the end of a word or a syllable, it is as cow, now, power, shower. When you hear it in the beginning or middle, it becomes OU. Pounds, house, loud, house. See, the OW, when it comes in the end, okay, fine. Cow, now, power, shower. But when it comes, OU comes in the middle or beginning, the sound itself becomes different. Okay? Ounce, mouse, pounds, house, loud, douse, spouse. So when you have two syllable, you double the consonant. Muffin, cotton, ribbon, tennis, happen, puppet, button. When you have to add ing, in some cases, you don't change tying, lie, lying. Run, running. You're stressing two syllables, admit, admitting. So you are doubling it up. Now, next one is prefer, preferring. Begin, beginning. So that is the thing. And F, L, S, Z sound is heard after a short vowel at the end of the word. It is spelled with a double F, double L, double S, double Z. Puff, fluff, cliff, sniff. Hill, doll, sell, drill. Miss, boss, less, guess. Bus, jazz, fuzz. You use US for nouns and OUS for adjectives. Genius, virus, focus, locust. Generous, religious, humorous, malicious. Oh, adjectives. Okay, now J is spelled as DGE after a very short vowel sound. Edge, nudge, fudge, judge. And C is always softened to S sound if it is followed by E or I or Y. Please don't write S there. Service, novice, cities, cyclone, cinnamon, cylinder, centipede, celebrate, okay? And civil, serial. Now, it sounds as G if it is followed by E, Y. So, giant, gym, gymnast, gypsy. Otherwise, it is girl sound, glad, garden, gum, gape, gland. Now, if two vowels go walking, The first one does the talking, making this long E sound. Meet, beat, seed, team, weed, seed. Now, words ending with UI, AY, OI, you're just adding the suffix. And then when there are two syllables, okay, which it ends with Y, but it pronounces as E. Now, ending with Y, you put